Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
And now Judea National News presents its exclusive coverage on the trial of Jesus of Nazareth, the self-proclaimed Son of God.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to this very special event. We are coming live to you from a downtown carpenter's workshop in Jerusalem. We're bringing you the most exciting event that we've covered for many decades. It is the trial and the sentencing of Jesus Christ, the self-proclaimed Son of God. Now just hang on a minute, just hang on a second. Shut the fuck up! Well, sorry about that. I blame that fucking Joshua for all this trumpet bollocks. He started it bloody many years ago. Anyway, where were we? Yes, the trial of the century, as it's been dubbed by the popular media. We've been following this man's career for many years, and we've actually been in contact with Roman officials, numerous Roman officials, and we are lucky to have one of them in the studio with us today. I'm going to be interviewing Michael Denias after the break, after our messages, and he's got some very interesting facts about this man. He's not quite as kosher as everybody believes. Come back after the break. We're going to have an exciting day, and after these messages. Thank you.
Hi fellas, in town for the Passover festival? Feeling the need to relax and unwind after a tough year in the desert? And why not come and visit me at Mary Magdalene's sauna and massage parlour for the discerning gentlemen? Our highly trained staff will make you completely relaxed and will pamper to your every need. Just walking distance from the CBD, Mary Magdalene's sauna and massage parlour has 16 themed rooms to fulfill your every fantasy. And if you're shy, no need to worry. We have a very discreet rear entrance. Open 24 hours during the Passover festival, we are the premier gentlemen's club throughout the whole of Judea. Why not take a sexy peek at our website, www.marysmassageparlour.com. Come on, boys. What are you waiting for? Mary Magdalene Sauna and Massage Parlour, where you'll find the perfect pushover for Passover.
Are you busy? Just can't fit everything into one day? Are you so busy you find it difficult to even pray to God? Well, now we have a solution with our state-of-the-art Text to God application for smartphone or the new PlayStation 3. Just type in your prayer, hit the send button, and you're done. If you're so busy you can't even have time to type out your own prayer, Text to God has over 100 pre-installed standard prayers ready to go. Hey, get off your knees and download your Text to God phone or PlayStation 3 application for only 5 denarii from our website, www.textprayerstogod.com. Do it today. It's the Passover, right? And 20 freeloaders hit your door and the cupboard's as bare as the Sinai. Hey, call the big fella at Peter's Loaf and Fish Shop. If you call within the next 10 minutes and mention this ad, you'll qualify for our spectacular offer. 5 loaves and 2 fishes special menu, guaranteed to feed up to 5,000 people in one sitting. Sorry, no seconds. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. Call our hotline 1800 Loaf and Fish, and the big fisherman's on the net too. www.petersmiraclemenu.com. Higher charges applicable for remote and rural areas.
Welcome back. Keith Cohen here with you, special reporter for Judea National News. I'm here today to talk to one of Rome's highest ranking officials in the Judea area for occupational health and safety, Mr. Michael Denias.
Not only Judea,
Right.
also Samaria, Galilee, and right at the top end there, Phoenicia. Don't go up there much, there's bugger all up there.
Now I understand there is some issues with that the Romans have with the Jewish population. What's the main problem here with health and safety?
Well, the Jews here, as in all other provinces, they have a lot of trouble obeying the rules. The new rules, admittedly, but they're the rules, and rules must be obeyed. Now, we do enforce these rules if we have to. We have to crack a few heads, but the rules are there. We have to.
You have to go in there and do the business.
We do.
Do the business. And of course, the issue we're talking about today is Jesus. And you've had and been following his career for many, many years, I understand. We're going to actually have a bit of a chat about that.
Yes, we are.
Yes, because he's not as kosher as everybody believes, is he?
Definitely not. I've been following him now for over 30 years, and I've got a few things to tell you about this bloke Jesus out of Nazareth.
Now, as we said, you've been tracking this man for 34 years?
Yes,
34
yes.
years? And I understand you were present at his birth, or just after his birth,
I was just too late for the birth. I was here in Jerusalem at the time, and I heard there was something going on over in Bethlehem, so I thought I'd go over there and see what was going on. And when I got there, the word was that the action was taking part down in the arse end of town, and a woman was having a baby, which is an immediate breach of occupational health and safety rules straight away, because there's a perfectly good maternity unit up the other end of town.
And she's had this baby in a barn.
In a barn. And when I went down there, I couldn't believe it, because the place was an absolute shithole with all these animals wandering around,
Shit everywhere.
shitting
Yeah,
all over the floor.
yeah.
The baby had been born and had been wrapped in all these filthy rags and placed in a feeding trough, a manger.
Yeah.
And all these people wandering out, all these soapy shepherds, and you know what they're like, they're illiterate peasants, and all they're interested in is if it hasn't got a woolly jacket on, they're not interested.
No, no. I also heard some very strange claims from his mother, Jesus' mother. Apparently, so the story goes, she said to him one day, I'm having a baby and God's the father. I mean, come on.
Well,
if you was Joseph, what would you say? What would you say?
Did you ever meet Joseph?
No.
He was alright, be quiet, you know, and as a health and safety officer, I can't concern myself with the paternity of any baby, but it is a funny one, the rumours I've heard.
So, Michael, tell me about this wedding that you you missed. You missed it.
Well, I was on a seminar up in Galilee at the time, and I heard that there was a wedding there, and of course Jesus had been invited, and he's the star of the show, not the bride and groom. And apparently they were whining, no, we ain't got any wine. So he got some buckets of water. He got some buckets of water and turned it into wine, which is an immediate breach of health and safety rules, because there are rules there for the brewing of alcohol, and they're very strict, and they have to be enforced.
Yeah. Sterilised. Were these the buckets? Were they sterilised? I think they weren't.
No. And they're also serving alcohol in the presence of minors, of course, so there's that issue to be dealt with.
At the time we had a flood at J&N News, we had a flood of calls from local vendors, of course, local bottle shop owners, local pub owners, legitimately complaining, that this man has actually done them out a bit of business.
And it's a fair comment. I mean, we put these rules in place to protect these vendors, and straight away they're up in arms because we're not enforcing the rules.
Who does this bloke think he is?
I know.
He's just set up a shop.
I know.
Set up his own bottle shop. What's going on?
Unfortunately, by the time I got there, he'd gone, so I couldn't take action.
You missed him again.
By a whisker.
Now, another one of your stories, which I find absolutely amazing, was this healing of the cripple. Take us through that. Now, I did understand you got a bit upset about this yourself, didn't you?
Well, I did, because I missed him by a whisker again, and this was up in Galilee, and he was going around healing people, and he healed this cripple who'd been crippled for many years, I don't know how long. And straight away you've got to look at the health and safety aspects of that, which for a start, he's not a qualified orthopaedic surgeon or consultant in any way. He's got no medical training.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that, yeah.
And also, one of the more subtle problems you have here is the stress on the bones and the muscles after years of inactivity. They can do absolute permanent damage, and then you need the rehabilitation there
Physiotherapy.
Exactly.
Proper course, proper physiotherapy course.
Yes, you do. You need.
So obviously he put none of that in, did he?
No, he didn't. And I certainly wouldn't have told him to pick his fucking bed up.
God dear. Now the Romans, Michael, are very, very big when it comes to crowd control.
Yes.
They're very meticulous on what happens through crowd control. Not necessarily for political reasons. Not because they don't want to see gangs of political upstarts roaming around the place. Now Jesus, of course, had this major gathering, the Sermon on the Mount.
He did.
Talk us through that. Tell me what happened.
Well, I heard about this gathering, and it was on that mount, and I went along there, and I was just a little bit too late again, and there was many breaches of the health and safety rules that the Romans have put in place for this. Firstly, there's no safety barriers for the people. It's quite steep up there. They were just sitting around anywhere they liked, which there was a high risk of injuries to themselves.
Roly-poly down the hillside.
And spinal injuries, you name it, they're all there.
Yeah.
But also remember that the Romans are also responsible for the environment, and there's many plants and animals up there that are endangered.
Yeah.
And there was no consideration given to them.
Trampling all over them.
That's right.
No doubt. Trampling all over them.
Yes, and also you've got no childcare facilities, no toilet facilities up there, and nowhere for anyone to park their donkeys. So
no traffic control.
Once the event was over, there was no traffic control at all.
Now this next particular incident, I understand, is very, very dear to your heart. Again, it involved a large crowd of people, a massive crowd of people, and this is the feeding of the 5,000, supposedly 5,000.
Well, there was more than 5,000 people. There was 5,000 men there. It doesn't take into account the women and children, and this really started. You'll have to excuse me for swearing, but it really upsets me because you've got all them people there. You've got all those the health and safety issues of crowd control that was already mentioned before, but you've also got the problems with the food. The food wasn't properly labelled. There was no ingredients on those labels, and the loaves and the fishes.
No refrigeration. No refrigeration.
No refrigeration for the fish. The loaves and fishes were handed out by hand. There wasn't a proper utensils. Then you get on to all the shit strewn all over the place that we've got to get people to go back there and clean up after them. Then you've got all the no donkey parking, no toilet facilities.
It's a right schmozzle, wasn't it?
It was terrible. It was terrible. It really upset me, and I never got the bastard.
Because there could have been an outbreak of E. coli or
of course,
salmonella or anything like that, couldn't it?
That's right. That's right.
So, Michael, your area of officialdom doesn't actually just cover the land area, does it? It's actually inland waterways, lakes and the sea, I understand.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Which leads me on to this incredible story that we heard, and again that you arrived there just slightly too late, as I understand.
Yes, I think.
Again, yeah. Was this issue of Jesus supposedly walking on the water?
Yes, well, this was up at the Sea of Galilee, and I heard the reports about it, so immediately you've got breaches of health and safety regulations that the Romans have put in place there. For a start, they're using the Sea of Galilee for purposes other than fishing.
Right. No recreational use whatsoever then?
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Right, yeah.
Now, this alleged incident, what sort of message does this send out to people? He did not have a safety vest on. Children playing near water are going to see this and think they can do it, even to the point where his mate Peter thought he could do it and nearly fucking drowned.
It seems to me that this man is dabbling a lot into the medical profession.
Yes, he is.
And we heard about the cripple earlier, and there was also this incident where he healed a blind man.
Well, I heard about this. I was too late to get over there.
Again.
So I took some witness statements from people, and apparently there was a man that was blind for many years, and he was cured of that blindness. Now, you may say, oh, what a nice thing to do, but wait, that man is not a qualified optometrist or optical surgeon in any way.
No.
Also, anyone knows that if you come out of any form of eye problem, you have to wear safety protective glasses.
Yeah.
We've had incidents where miners have been trapped underground for
months.
Months,
yeah.
and then they come out. They always wear safety glasses, and they wear them for weeks on end.
To protect the retina, it's got to protect the ear, because you could get all sorts of problems. So, was there any aftercare with this man, when the eye drops or stuff like that, or
None
just
at all.
walk away?
None at all.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So we've seen this man dabbling in the medical profession, healing a cripple, making a blind man see. Now we have this outrageous claim that he's actually raised somebody from the dead, raised Lazarus from the dead. Now, I'm sorry to say this, you did get there a little bit too late, Michael.
Yes, I did.
It seems the pattern here, there is a pattern here, isn't
Yes,
there? And
there
you've got just after him all the time. So take us, what happened?
Well, as you reminded me, I got there late again, and apparently this man named Lazarus, had been risen from the dead by Jesus. Now, straight away you've got problems here, because you've got you need to counsel the relatives for a start, because they're in the grieving process of his death. And can you imagine their shock when they're grieving, and all of a sudden
He walks back through the door.
Exactly, yes. And also you've got to think of the man himself. He's got to go have a psychological analysis as well, because all these things...
I bet he's none of that been put in place.
No, obviously not. But also the Romans have a medical man on the spot who signed his death certificate.
Yes.
What does that do to that man? It totally discredits that man, and he cannot practice again, because he has declared that man is dead and he isn't.
So somebody's going to, so if anybody else comes up and says to him, can you sign this death certificate? What's he going to say?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jesus is lurking around the corner, might raise him up again.
His credibility is gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just to recap where we are. Jesus and 12 of his mates came into town a few days ago for a Passover. There was a bit of fracas in one of the temples, which we'll talk about in a little while, Michael. He had some sort of last meal with his friends in one of the local establishments, where one of them up and left and betrayed him to the local Jewish community. They've whipped him off, they've given him a trial, and they've handed him over to Pontius Pilate for sentencing. And we understand that, and we'll go into this after the break, that there are some issues over that. But Michael, this man, now comes under your total control. Now that he's in Roman custody, you've got him where you want him.
Yes, and he ain't going nowhere.
You've got him.
At last, I've got him under my control.
So everything from now on, what's going to happen to this man from now on comes totally under your control, and all the health and safety things that he's flouted in the past, right out the window. He's got to conform, doesn't he?
It'll be done my way. All his life he's flouted health and safety. This time there's no hiding place.
Now after the break, when we come back, we're going to look at what happened in Jerusalem in a bit more detail. We're going to then look forward to the actual crucifixion, if there's going to be one. Do we think there's going to be one?
I think there's going to be one.
Okay. We'll be back shortly after these ads. Thank you.
After you've passed on, the first thing you want, besides an afterlife, is for your descendants to see you in top shape, not withered and shriveled, and that's where we come in at Shrouds Are Us. Our pre-stained burial shrouds can make you look like a top model, a Roman emperor, or even the Son of God. You'll be wrapped. Call 1800 Shrouds Are Us, or visit our website at www.shroudsareus. Here's your chance to own a limited edition commemorative cross. These will be hand-carved from the actual cross on which Jesus will die. How's that for a first? And they come with a certificate of authenticity. This cross can be yours for the very reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. Yes, just 1,000 denarii. Only 500 will be manufactured, and this is a Judea National News exclusive offer, only available on this channel. They're not available in shops, so call now. 1800 crosses. Have your credit cards ready. Come on and play the most exciting online interactive game in decades. You could win our jackpot of 10,000 denarii or 10 runner-up prizes. It's easy to play. Go to www.sphereofdestiny.com, use your mouse to pick the exact spot the Spear of Destiny will pierce the skin of Jesus, and you could take home first prize. Everyone's playing this amazing game, suitable for all ages. This game can also be played from your smartphone, the PlayStation 3, and now has the support for the new iGod. What are you waiting for? Come on, click and win.
So welcome back. And Michael, we're coming to the end of our interview. It's been a fascinating ride. We've had some interesting views of what's gone on in the past. Let's just look at what's happened in the last few days. So Jesus is bowled into town, and one of the first places he makes for is this temple, and he's caused uproar, isn't he?
He has, and this was the closest I've ever been to getting him, because I was just next door having a coffee at the time, and I started off, I heard a lot of shouting and hollering, which in itself is not a problem, but when I hear animals being stampeded and furniture being turned over, I went next door to investigate, and sure enough, there was a stampede, which is a problem because of the danger to the animals and to the human beings. And also, you've got to remember that if you're driving animals, you need a licence.
And he ain't got one, has he?
He has not got a licence. He turned all the tables over, there was all money all over the place, which is there's no thought given to the poor people that have to clean this temple up after he's gone.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
He just thinks he can just go around and do anything, doesn't he?
He does, he does.
So Jesus is now under the direct control of Pontius Pilate,
Yes.
and obviously comes directly under your jurisdiction, where he's actually imprisoned. No?
Yes, he does.
Got him there. And of course Pilate's got to make the decision on the sentence. And we've actually heard rumours this morning, and we're not very far away from that Pontius Pilate may well defer the decision, or refer the decision, which should we say, back to the mob out in the street. We're not sure of this, but anyway, at the end of the day, it's still up to you to carry out the sentence, whatever that sentence is going to be. How many crucifixions have you officiated now, Michael?
131 at the moment. This will be my 132nd if the sentence is confirmed.
But surely, would any of them be on the same magnitude as this?
Oh no, definitely not. This is the biggest.
So this is the biggest crucifixion that you've ever officiated at?
It is.
And I want you to take me through some of the logistics of I suppose we could call it a production, because there are masses of logistics that need to be got right. Where do you start? Where's the starting ground?
Well, you start right at the beginning, and the beginning is the manufacturing of the cross, of course. The cross will be made out of hardwood with a lap joint where the two pieces cross. That's the strongest joint. The wood will not be affected by any sort of adverse weather. And also, it does seem a bit of a strange thing to say, but we don't want the cross harming the accused at any time, so it will be sanded down and the corners chamfered.
This is because even though he's in your custody, he's still got rights.
Human rights, and these human rights have to be obeyed.
Yes, yes. We also heard, we were talking to the company that actually are manufacturing this cross for you, and apparently there was, for the first time ever, they're going to trial some small bogey wheels on the cross itself.
Yes, that's very true actually. It's a new innovation that we've introduced because the accused will be expected to haul that cross through the streets in front of his accusers. And the streets are cobbled and there are some steep inclines, so a small wheel will be placed on the end of the cross to make his work that little bit easier.
Right, oh, it's interesting, interesting.
Yes.
So the cross is manufactured.
Yes.
What's the next big issue that you had to organise?
Crowd control. The single biggest issue we have to deal with is
there is a big crowd out there. We understand now.
Yes. Yes, and to that end we will have 4 cohorts of soldiers on call that day with 2 in reserve. Each soldier will be issued with a high visibility vest like my own, and be fitted with standard issue safety toe cap sandals.
Right. Now tell me about the vendors that are across the route, because obviously these people need to have refreshments. Is all that been put in place, and all of the sponsorships been put in place?
All in place. All the food outlets will be licensed, and all the food preparation practices will be done in a responsible manner, and we will not have. And I want to make this to yourself and your viewers, that there will be no feeding of the 5,000 bollocks.
Yes, exactly. So tell me about the sponsorship arrangements. Obviously, the vendors have got to pay money. Where does that money go? Is it going back to into your kitty?
No. It goes to the council.
Right.
The council are paying for this. The Romans are doing the Jews' dirty work. We're not going to fucking pay for it as well.
Now, we spoke about the council just then.
Yes.
Have they had to be consulted for any of this?
Yes, they have. The crucifixion itself, the site has been decided, and we had to do an environmental impact assessment, because Jesus will not be the only one getting crucified that day. There's a couple of other people in custody.
Did you have to have planning permission? Planning permission to erect a structure or anything like that?
Yes, all these requirements have been put in place by the Romans when we arrived here in Judea, and we have to do the environmental impact of blood running into the water table, of course.
Oh yeah, well I never
So
realised.
we've got to, yes, see, there's a lot more to this health and safety than you may think.
Yeah.
You don't want blood contamination of the water table.
Right, and I suppose does that go back to the material that's the nails are used in? Because I mean, if they go rusty or anything like that, again, that could go in the water table, could it?
It could. So all the nails have been specially made, super sharp, so they pass through the flesh
Without doing too much damage.
Correct.
So we're getting more and more to the logistics of the actual crucifixion.
Yes.
Let's talk about that in a little bit more detail. You mentioned these nails. What other issues are?
Well, we've got to think of the people putting those nails in, of course, and they will be wearing gloves and eye protection.
Yeah.
And also there's another issue where the proof of death has to be established.
Right,
and we do that in the normal way with a spear, with a Roman soldier.
Yeah.
Now in this case...
Now let me just stop you there. The local popular press have actually already, you know, they splashed right across the local newspapers. You know what they're calling it? They're calling it the Spear of Destiny, would you believe? Apparently there's even television competitions run. There's been television competitions run. That's amazing.
I haven't seen them, but I've heard about them.
Yes. Okay.
But this spear, I
Yep.
won't call it what you called it, because that's not what the Romans call it, has to be used to establish death. And the Roman soldier that uses it will be using eye protection as well, of course. But the spear has also been made specially with a very, very sharp edge, because we don't want any infections being caused by the spear. We don't want any lawsuits from the fucking relatives, do we?
Well, they're bound to get on the bandwagon, aren't they?
Oh,
Bound to
yeah,
get on the
of course they
bandwagon.
will. Yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit then about this. Again, we've heard some rumours regarding the blood runoff, that it's actually going to be collected in a special cup.
Well, apparently it's part of the Jewish tradition to gather some of the blood in a small cup, and we are allowing that, people to approach the cross and to take some blood.
So relatives will be allowed right up underneath
yes.
the cross.
Yes, we have.
This is humane reasons, is that?
Yes, we're happy to honour the traditions of the Jewish people. So yes, they will be allowed to take a sample of blood. But I have to say that once they've fulfilled their traditions, that cup and the blood will be confiscated.
Right. This because it will have maybe some potential historical value, or you don't want it actually used as an instrument of martyrdom or something like that, is it?
That's right. We don't want this cup to be venerated in the future, so we will be taking it away and putting it in a very safe place.
Right. So are you allowed to tell us where that's going to be?
I'm not at liberty to
Because
tell
I
you
reckon people will be searching for it, won't they?
They will be searching for it, but they will. I can tell you right now, they will not get their grubby little hands on it.
We heard, again, our investigative reporters have heard that it's actually going to be placed alongside the Ark of the Covenant. I don't suppose you can make any comment.
I can't comment on that. No.
Well, Michael, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
You've given us a fantastic insight into this whole affair. As you know, we are an investigative journalist team here at Judea National News.
Yeah.
We've got some concerns. We have some concerns about the whole event. It takes time to put an event like this together. It takes time for crosses to be manufactured. It takes time for council permission, and we know that there's a minimum of 32 days to get something through planning at council. This man only came into town 3 days ago, so surely
what you were insinuating?
hang on. There's don't get no animosity here. You must have known months ago that this was actually.
What are you getting at here? Are you saying there's something underhand going on here?
Well, I'm just saying
I've
that
got a job of
there
work
are
to do
rumours.
here.
There are rumours out there that some of this stuff has been preordained. Some of this stuff, you cannot just get all this stuff together in 3 days. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. All I know is I've got a job of work to do, and I don't give a fuck if he is the son of God. He's going down.
Well, thank you once again, Michael, for coming in. Thank you out there watching this special presentation by Judea National News. I'm sure we're going to be continuing to see some events unfolding in the next few days, and we'll certainly be on the ground covering those events, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope you continue watching our this fantastic news coverage, and perhaps we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Thank you. So what's up? Are you upset, are you?
Of course, I've got the fucking What's all that bollocks at the end there?
What do you mean bollocks? That was bloody true.
I've got a fucking job of work to do.
So have I got a fucking job?
Who are you fucking talking to? You can't talk to Roman like that.
I can fucking talk to you how I like. Fucking get out of fucking moments, but you own the fucking place.
Always look on the bright side of life.